So great, we are live. Namaste, good evening, Sasyakal, Bon, Sua, and a very good evening to everybody. It's great to be back. I hope everybody is safe and fine. This is something unprecedented time which we are facing, but I am sure that we will be all strong and able to weather this pandemic away, specifically in the second phase. Great, Ajra Sampark welcomes all participants for the seventh episode of Mad Making a Difference series. I thank all my previous guests to share their experience and journey to all the and also to all the participants for appreciating the concept. A disclaimer: all the discussion done today is based on individual ideas, thoughts, and relevance, and is not specifically related to any company, industry, or individual. I am Ashish Banka, National President of HR Sampark, and your curator of the evening. HR Sampark, as you know, we started from a WhatsApp group. Now we are a trust having three chapters in India: Calcutta, Mumbai, and NCR. We do a lot of events together, and we have a member base over 400. We are glad that our effort, specifically in the field of CSR during these COVID times, have been quite appreciative. We are also glad to announce that we have taken initiative to create a job group in Telegram and to provide the support to all professionals of various streams under extension of MAD initiative. The link will be available in the social media for all of you to join and take the advantage out of it. I think helping is very important in these times. Last six episodes have been extremely informative, created ripples to impact the student and professional community, and identifying a new emerging HR leader. Uh, Today, we are privileged to have a perpetual HR learner and a leader, Ms. Alapinee Deshmukh, to lead the episode of Unveiling the Journey of our emerging HR leader. Alapinee is an HR leader having a decade experience in IT industry. She is an alumnus of MIT Pune and postgraduate from Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies. Being an engineer by profession and then moving to the HR function, her journey is itself an exciting and impacted many lives. She believes being simple is the key to success and takes initiatives to build careers and journey. She spearheads her in-house project, Nurture the Nature and Trash to Treasure, upcycle junk and convert them into utility items. I am not sure this is her hobby or this is her passion, but this is a great initiative. Thereby creating a lot of green footprints, have held a lot of camps at Dharavi and many other slums to impart knowledge of recycling, create opportunity for them to earn from the same. Specifically during COVID, to have raised funds and for many, specifically house your domestic house help who have lost helps, jobs and actively involved. She is into a lot of various social and environmental causes. I've known her through a common HR forum, HRIA, over last 2 years, and her humility is the biggest strength to impact people and a thought process. It will be quite interesting to witness this episode to get it into action, and I'm so happy, Alapin, for coming forward and doing this. Uh, and
Thank you
now
so
to our
much.
spotlight person of the day, our young, enthusiastic, energetic, passionate emerging HR leader of the industry, Mr. Soham Banerjee. In his LinkedIn profile, he describes as HR enthusiast, change initiator, poet, avid reader. He is an HR enthusiast with passion for the management industry, skilled in business planning, talent acquisition, various domains of HR and HR shared resources and employee relations. He believes in dedication, determination, consistency. He is a graduate from IHM Bhubaneswar and postgraduate from ISBNM. He is a social media enthusiast, also co-founder of HR Club in ISBNM and edited release of various magazines. He is currently part of People Function with Thermax based out in Pune. We might come across many young aspirants in our career span, but Shoham is the one who is to watch out for in terms of his actions, thought process, commitment. Though every professional wants success, but Shoham believes the importance of impacting the society and industry at this very early time zone of his career. I have no doubt that he will be one of the HR icons in near future, and this reverse mentoring by Alapine will lead the way for many senior professionals like us to take this effort and put the future in front before the present. Let us sit back and learn, unlearn, and relearn from this interesting and exceptional journey. I thank Alapine for this, and over to you, Alapine. Let us sit back and relax and do a roller coaster ride of unveiling Shoham. Over to you, Alapine.
Sure. Thank you, Ashish and Team Sampark, um, especially creating this series MAD, right? I think you really need to have that madness to make that difference, right? Because being does happen, and when you have to really do, you really need that magic and that madness to create that difference. And I'm very glad that Team Sampark is creating, these kind of footprints across the society, not just at the HR forum level. So, thank you, and I'm glad to be part of this series today. And with us today, as Ashish mentioned, we have a budding HR professional, Soham, and I so look forward, as rightly said by Ashish, to learn, unlearn, and relearn from your journey. Soham, now for you, what does it take to be a mad, making a difference in a society? So, if you could just enlighten us about your madness in making difference.
Thank you, Alapinee. So before I start, it will be a great mistake if I don't convey my thanks to Ashish and HR Sampark. So it's great to see, the HR Sampark crafted such a great platform named as MAD, and it's indeed an effort from AB. So I have been said that you mentioned me AB. So it's indeed an effort from AB to come up with such a great idea and impacting other lives by sharing such great journeys through this interaction. And also thanks for providing me an opportunity to sharing some glimpses of my step towards HR. With that, I like to answer the first question Alapini has delivered towards me. So I always believe that madness is all about, yes, making a difference. That's what the today's subject is. So hence I will share one work of mine that I believe creates a difference in the lives of thousand people. I want to share an instance of previous year in the month of March. Like all of us, I also was going through some social media pages and was searching, and India is literally uh, trying to survive from the first wave of pandemic. Everyone is trying to make contribution in some or other way, and I have got to a page where I have seen the tagline that free the period. So it's a campaign, I must say. So it actually fascinates me. I have just called them up, and I have seen that this has been led in Delhi by very two young minds. So I made up my mind to associate with them. So I have associated with Free the Period, and I have the main agenda of this campaign is to provide sanitary napkins to those who are daily wage earner and who actually strive to do and have a proper source of income in that period of time. So I just go forward and join the campaign. We have raised various works in Delhi over a course of 2 months, and then I thought, why not to host it in my own state, West Bengal? Why not to lay the foundation in West Bengal? So again, I had started my social media search, and I have got a page where they are initiating a process to reach out to sex workers of West Bengal, because it's considered as one of the greatest hub of the world. So they are trying to provide sanitary napkins at free of cost, and they are on an initiative to make it through a government that they will be provided sanitary napkins in a free of cost. So yes, and from the campaign lead, I had got the opportunity to lead the campaign in West Bengal. I was into the fundraising, and I was into guiding other team members of us through this campaign. So within a span of 1 week, we had raised 15,000 rupees. And in the course of time, we have just started the initiative by providing the same to 100 of the sex workers. And within a course of 1 month, it has gone so big that we have covered the whole area in Kolkata, and we have literally created an impact over there. Secondly,
I think kudos to you,
I
Soham, on this. I mean, when you're saying, and I think the field that you mentioned, is one of the taboo, field to be touched upon
yeah,
also.
right,
And
right,
bringing back that entire campaign back to Kolkata, I think commendable job. And this is what I think it's all about. How do you make the difference, and how do you create that impact in a society?
right, right, right. And I always try to join my passion. with my work I love to do. So if anyone of us present in the audience, if you can go through my LinkedIn account, you can see that I have also worked as an HR intern with various NGOs, and that was a pre-MBA chapter of mine, like, right. And like mad is making a difference is all about creating a difference in your life, as well as creating a difference in others life as well. So in my life, how I am creating a difference, so I am a great foodie. So while I am telling that I am a great foodie, so I am not only just going to the restaurant or going someone and having something. So I always like to research about the food and the beverage. I always
Wow.
write reviews. I am associated with food blogging communities, and now I can say that I always keep a track. I have tried 18 various type of cuisines all over the world within the period of 5 years. So
Wow,
that's
that's
how that's
amazing.
right.
Great. I think, Soham, I think you mentioned that relatively what very nice. I will also keep pitching in with the questions which audience is
Sure,
posting through WhatsApp and other platform. So a
Sure.
sure.
question which audience has mentioned for you, Soham, is tell us
Yes.
a childhood incident where you have done some madness. It's the leading question what Alapinee has asked. So audience is also saying that
Yeah.
we will need a short answer over our responses. So tell us an incident where you have done madness in your childhood.
Okay, like my being a foodie journey starts from coaching itself. So when we used to go to the coaching classes, and we had a stipulated time frame covered by my mother, that if your coaching ends at 10, so you should come back at 10:30. But what we usually do, we used to go to the restaurants and spend time over there eating something, right? So every time it is 1 hour or 45 minutes delay, and my mother used to ask what happened and what you do. I used to lie her that no, I just because sir has got delayed, the coaching has got delayed, somehow traffic was there and that. So finally one day my mom actually visited to Cochin and to just explore what I do over there. So she just caught me up over there. So that's one thing I think is a matter of madness. So, that has been happened.
Yeah, indeed, right? And I think that's what is also associated with how you co-create the things, yeah, and unleashing then your dreams eventually, right? This madness,
Right,
is a stepping stone, I believe.
right.
Um, so I'm looking. I mean, I just happened to check your profile as well on LinkedIn. So what I found very interesting is, and I think I can very much correlate it to the one of the dialogues in Three Idiot movies, um, where Amir Khan mentions to Kareena Kapoor. Um, उसने बी किया, उसके बाद एमबीए किया, अमेरिका जाके फिर बैंक में नौकरी की, और अगर बैंक में ही नौकरी करनी थी तो इंजीनियरिंग क्यों किया, राइट? सो नाउ
Right.
दैट्स अ डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन टू यू कि आपने ऐसा क्यों किया, राइट? क्योंकि आपने पहले होटल इंडस्ट्री में आपने कदम रखा, फिर आपने
Right.
एचआर इंडस्ट्री में भी कदम रखा, एंड नाउ अगेन यू वांट टू गो बैक, सो यू वांट टू complete this entire circle, is it?
Right.
uh, want to know about that.
Great. Thanks, Alapinee, for this question. And certainly not. I believe that uh, one cannot limit oneself to a particular domain if they have the passion
Right.
to drive themselves out of that, right? And if I think that I can explore some other domain and that is very much accepting to my traits or to my competencies or to my capabilities, I should explore what I believe. But by this question, I can resonate with my transitional journey from hotelier to HR, as you say. And I always think that opting hotel management is my experiment, and opting for HR is a learned choice. Why I say so? Because it was not backed up with adequate research of what exposure I can get and what my career will look like after I after I get over from my hotel management course. But having an ideology that is very traditional, if you are pursuing hotel management, that you will become a chef. So I am having that ideology. I am fascinated from that. And being in a middle class family, when you choose to pursue as something other than the traditional courses of becoming engineer, doctor, or pursuing specialized subject degrees, so you have two options to look at. One is budget, and another is your sustainability of that course, because you
Very
have
true.
chosen it at your own will. So in my case, while budget works well, of getting admission in a college like IHM Bhubaneswar, sustainability was still a question for me because it's yet to get discovered. So hotel management is a phase of exploration, first with a specialization of kitchen and then a front office. But now the twist lies here. I got the job in a separate domain altogether. That is food and beverage service, which I am not totally exposed to. So you can see the plan was not structured at all. And it was added with some bad decisions, like counting the pay package and not giving priority to the work I like for in the initial stage of career. So I always believe that when we are in the initial stage of career, we should not look on the pay. We should look on the interest. We should look on the passion of the work which we are in. So after joining that QSR, so it's a quick service restaurant in Chennai. After a month working there, I realized no, it's not my cup of tea and it's not working for me. And by that time, it is too late. And even I started to attempt for other interviews, for fashion retail industry. And while I'm saying this, you still can relate that it is an experiment. And
Yeah, I
unfortunately,
mean,
no
you
one
just
was
mentioned
there to, right,
yeah, fashion as well. So I think that's one more dimension that you explored, right?
right,
It just reminds me, somebody asked a very beautiful question to a socialist, a very great socialist, Baba Amte, that
right,
how come you are inclined towards so many fields? Okay, you want to do this, you want to do that, and so many things. So how do you as a person align? So he very beautifully answered that. He said, in one lifetime I want to lead series of lifetimes.
right,
Okay,
absolutely,
so I think, as you very rightly said, we cannot probably restrict ourselves to only one domain, because eventually we all have to broaden our horizon, right? And
right,
check, like, if we can adapt to that field and take the best out of what's also been done in the past. So you very well
right.
summarize that. Anything else you would like to add on? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think a very important takeaway which you have given to our audience, specifically with this, careers are always, either by design, default, or, so that's how it happens, or by
Right.
destiny. So that's how,
Mhm.
that's three D's we fall into our career. And all of us who are here are either of these three, destiny, design, or default.
Yeah.
So, a very important takeaway which you mentioned for all audience, Alapino, she has mentioned that, whatever we do should always have a passion to that, and,
Yeah.
Soham, a very important takeaway from your end, which all audience should say that the realization of what path to choose at a early stage of your career is important. I
Exactly.
totally resonate from Soham. I happens to be his super senior. I'm from the same institute of IHM Bhubaneswar, and at a very early stage, I also realized that the operations field of hotel management might not be
Yeah.
suitable to somebody's destiny. So at that point of time, and to not to go back and go jittery that what we should do. I think all participants, specifically all young HR professionals who was there, it is not a crime if you have done something and you go into other field, but the other field which you are choosing should be your passion field. It should not be a compulsion. Over to you, Alapin.
Yeah, very rightly said, Vijay. And I think I would, I think it's a destiny that we all three are, part of this. I would, like, for example, I started as an engineer. I was totally into coding with Infosys for a couple of years. And post that, I did my HR in MBA, and post that I also, what I found was also, your background, your bachelor's background also comes handy when you're doing other jobs as well. Like, for example, currently the technology is an enabler for me when I work as a HR professional. And I think whenever, as Ashish rightly said, whenever you have to step, you just decide what's your passion level for a particular domain, and then lead with full purpose and passion. Yeah. So anything else, Soham, that you would like to add?
Yeah. Yes, yes. Actually, what happened, after that, it was very tough. I think AB can relate it to AB can relate because while in hotel management, we were in a very operational process. We are in a process where we do the training whole day in a specific domain. Now coming back to doing something higher studies and preparing for that, preparing for the entrance exam where you need points, aptitudes, and we are out of that phase because the past 3 years we have gone through is a very detail oriented studies regarding to the domain itself. So I faced the difficulties, and within these 3 months, and I must say, through this I want to say that, like, if we have a single goal or a single aim, however be the difficulties we can achieve. So finally I cracked the entrance exam with 95.54 percentile, and I landed up to IS Benham with my goal of studying or pursuing my specialization of HR and IR. And what I have again seen over there, people are struggling in the first year to finalize their specialization. Whether
Wait.
by considering my previous experience, I have already finalized and entered into an institute. Even rather, I want to say I choose the institute based on my specialization that I want to go for HR and IR. So I am choosing that institute. So that's how it evolves, and the previous experience actually matters a lot over here.
Yeah, very true. And I think at every point, we started this conversation of relearning, unlearning, right? And I think that's throughout. I think it continues whenever, you have to change either your industry, even as HR, right? If you want to switch from technology to a BFSI to a FMCG, so I think that does matter. You will have to keep a mindset very agile so that you adapt at the earliest, right?
Right.
So it's wonderful the way you've transitioned, and I think the way you have kept your mindset very open. I think that's very crucial for any professional to grow, right? Because otherwise, there's always a stagnancy, right? If you do not adapt to a change.
Absolutely.
I would also like to know, Soham, what's your life? I mean, I do understand now that you are a thorough HR professional, but what's your life beyond HR?
That's great, Alapini. The question actually, it's very close to my heart. So you have actually asked me to deep dive into my me time, right?
Okay,
And
yeah,
that's
I
to
mean,
explore.
beyond.
Right, right. Where I think I can explore myself and develop myself. So being a poet, I write poems in my native language, that is Bengali. So some of my
Wow.
writing has been published in a little magazine. I spend times in reading management books and non-fiction Bengali novels as well. And I am also associated with recitation and done certification in various courses. But we always struggle to find out the time out of our busy schedule every day and to dedicate to us. But even though I can't do it every day, but I still promise myself to do it at weekend actually. So I think it's all about nurturing passion, dedicated time for myself, other than spending it totally on Netflix and other OTT platform that is emerging. Because the value addition what you do by practicing all this is very much other than watching just a show or just something else.
Sure. Wow. So would you like to recite something for us? Huh? I would
It's a
request
it's
a
a
few
it's a
lines
it's a
probably
it's
now
a
that you're certified as well. We would request you to, if you could recite just a couple of lines,
right, right,
if it's
right.
possible.
Okay,
Yeah.
just a minute.
Yes.
I
And
was actually, I was actually prepared. I was actually thought of that you might ask some question or something like that to me while I utter
oh,
those
you
words.
guessed it, huh? You're a mind reader then as well. So you guessed it right. I think till the time
Right.
you want to articulate your words, probably just a few lines. I think life beyond HR, I think is must, and it does help in a way to be connected to your profession as well. For me
Exactly.
personally, I run marathons, and I think that itself, gives me a privilege to learn couple of aspects and draw couple of lessons from that phase and then implement back in my field. And likewise, I also keep a passion of creating a art every day. So be it any small
That's great.
ad, I have made a point that I recycle certain stuff every day. So I think I did, pledge this couple of years back. It might be a small. I'm not. I think I can show you probably. So this is a coconut. Okay, and it's been recycled into a plant. So I think these kind of any art or any form of thing beyond nature, it not only relieves you from stress, but it also
Right.
adds on a lot of I would say a value add to your profession as well, because when you deal into certain other aspects, I think those lessons that you have from any of the hobbies or any of the passion that you're growing with, it does help you as a human being as well. So over to you,
Absolutely.
Soham, if you could just recite a few lines for us.
Sure, sure, sure. So my dissertation will also be based on my thought process as well. So it's Rabindranath Tagore's own translation. So I will recite in English so that everyone can get through it. It's in 1912 English edition of Gitanjali. So here it starts, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic worlds, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arm towards the perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into dreary desert, sand of dead habits, where the mind is led forward by three into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom. My father, let my country awake. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Soham. And what a wonderful thought, right? Explained, when you recited leading without a fear, right?
Right,
I think
right.
fear does exist. We cannot deny, right? Like in
Exactly.
today's situation, also, if you ask us, aren't we fearful of the fact that we might be one of those cases? I think fear does exist, but how do you overcome it daily is what I think, when you have to lead, does matter, right? Any thought, Ashish, on that?
Yeah,
Because I think,
I will just say a few lines. Soham has been infectious positively, so I'll just say a few lines. ना पूछो कि मेरी मंजिल कहाँ है, अभी तो सफर का इरादा किया है. ना पूछो कि मंजिल कहाँ है, अभी तो सफर का इरादा किया है. ना हारूंगा हौसला उम्र भर, ये मैंने किसी से नहीं खुद से वादा किया है. So I think
wow.
Soham, the way which you recited is also another takeaway. While for the audience, while we unveil your journey, it is also important for us to give an audience takeaway. It's very important that to pursue something which profession and passion can be coincided. But what Soham mentioned is constructive hobby. When we talk about hobbies, audience, it's very important. Another takeaway which Soham gives back to me, and I can totally resonate with him because doing a Mad series, founding Sampark, doing chapters. So this is a part of an engagement forum which I indulge after my work hours or personal life. So, very important audience, while we have a lot of time and out of this pandemic, we have created a lot of time. I appeal to all of you that this is the leading the way in doing a constructive hobby or, doing a constructive way to engage yourself outside your office hours, which at least gives an impact to your life. We can always do so. Being health focused is very important. Being society focused at Alapinee, great job, Alapinee. It's not easy to go back and do this because most of us want to do it, but we find out ways of not doing it. Another, very important takeaway which Alapinee I got, that you have 100 reasons of not doing it, but only one reason to do it. And thank you so much for doing this, for the society.
Yeah, you very rightly said. I think because my mother always, vouches on this one quote: "Where there's a will, there's a way." आप वो राह ढूंढ ही लोगे. Like it's just the question of that will, and then the excuse doesn't come, because this she used to. I think this thought was imbibed, by my parents very early. Like you cannot find, if you have the will way will appear, and you can find your way as well, right? So on that thought, Soham, I think now we moved. Let's move towards another section. Probably that
Sure.
I would like to learn from you is, I think dreams also play a very crucial role, right? You
Right.
might be dreaming couple of things, right? So how do you couple your dream with a purpose? Okay, and do
Okay.
you? I mean, probably a little, how do I put that in words? Have you found your purpose of life, or is it too philosophical? Would you like to attempt or probably answer this?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
because I think every day we, yeah,
Right.
probably sleep with a dream, and we sometimes wake up with a purpose. And so if you found your purpose, let us know.
Right, right. Absolutely. So, I like to answer this question in two perspectives of mine. So, one is a daily dream or a daily wake up oath we take, and one is a long term thing. So, I particularly like to focus on a long term because in the current in a current session we will speak about HR a lot. So, I have one dream, to achieve. So that's to open a restaurant where customized
Wow,
food can be served, and where
interesting.
you will also get an opportunity to cook with the assist of chefs. Because I always believe cooking is an art, right? And if your mood is not good, you perform cook or you do something like that, it actually gives you the pleasure and it actually makes you happy. So I personally want to make the platform for anyone that anyone can come and cook with the assist of some professionals, and you can also try some unique cuisines over there and beverages over there that I am doing research still now. Hope my research will work on after until I reach that day. And so it's all about a package of experience, that I want to create through it. So this is the dream which I want to achieve. Is a long term dream, of course. And while you were saying a dream and waking up with a purpose, I must say that I believe even I practice it in my day to day life. You know, what initiatives I can bring with my role that will create a very good impact in my stakeholders, my organization, and particularly to me as a whole. And what new things I can develop for myself and to explore other things that can literally add value to myself. So I think that's my answer over this question of yours.
Sure. I think to not to dream is a crime, right? And I think we all should unleash the power of dream, because that definitely, leads towards certain goals that we definitely want to achieve. Because I remember there were days when I would have to-do list, right? Morning mein hote, like, there would be a to-do list, and today also, like, you start the days with a to-do list. But over, I think, couple of years, what I've realized is, I think, to do list say to be list. I've started doing that, and I think that's really getting a little more impactful, and that
Exactly.
is little sustainable as well. So it's from to do to be list, is, I think, is helping me achieve my dreams in a certain way. Ashish, you want to add in something? How are you
No, I
achieving your?
think wonderful. I will borrow this analogy and I'll use that in some of my forums. From to do to be. That's a wonderful thing which you have given a takeaway. Also, for the wider audience, another couple of sentences. मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. मंजिलें उन्हीं को मिलती हैं जिनके सपनों में जान होती है. सिर्फ पंखों से कुछ नहीं होता दोस्तों, हौसलों में उड़ान होती है. Why I say this is very important to all of us. As we say, we are based on we are here because of our aspirations. To the audience who is there, another takeaway which I want to give it to all of you, it's not important how we craft our career. We all have opportunities, we'll always have choices, we always have options. It is that what we want to be, and everybody should go back and read the movie Secret in over social media. I think that is very impactful. 7 minutes you should spend in a day to dreaming of what you want to be in near future, and the law of universe will always combine the synergy to achieve you that. Why,
Very true.
Soham, you are there at a at a early stage in your career, and you have wanted to do into this coveted HR space, which is a paid social responsibility. That's my definition to HR. It's a paid social responsibility. But to all the
Absolutely.
audience, there will be a lot of people who will not achieve what they want to do. So friends and my fellow, colleagues of other companies, don't be disheartened. It is not important that success, what is getting more money or getting a big designation in professionally. I'm talking about. I have believed, success is what we evaluate in our parameters, in our wavelength. We could see, we have the great, industrialists like Mr. Ambani, Mr. Tata, Mr. Adani. All these are deploying people and employing people to run their livelihoods. So I am not saying you don't achieve, don't dream more. That's what I can take a takeaway from you and Soham. But also to know your limits and not to get disheartened if you don't achieve that, because most of the people, they don't get, if they fail, they start becoming negative, getting a negative energy around them. And secondly, they start, criticizing things. Campus we have not got, there is recession, there is pandemic, my boss is there, I do not have opportunities. So my only appeal to all of you is, how positive we want to be. This is our choice, and how positive we are will run the decisions in our favor. And I've totally experienced it, because there were times, a failure is very important, which makes us learn. After passing out hotel management and quitting Indian Railways, for 5 months I was unemployed and appeared for 48 interviews in Calcutta to just to get into HR, because I did not want to go into some other field. And today, after a decade, I look back and see, that's how you can, create a difference, what you want to be. So the choice is yours, friends. I we can always, the idea of this mat is, one, to recognize our spotlight session. Second is to impact you all. If we are able to impact one life amongst you all, I think we will be really happy. And that's the entire effort with Alapino and Soham are putting for all of you. Over to you, Alapino.
Yeah, on a lighter note, I think if you do not achieve your dreams, somebody else will hire you to achieve their dreams. So better achieve your dreams, right? And it doesn't matter, right? Even if you are contributing to somebody's dreams as well, that is equally important, I feel. And the aspect of co-creation is equally important. So this aspect also, and the aspect which Ashish just touched upon towards failure. So Soham would definitely like to know from your end also how
Right.
difficult it is to deal with failures. Okay, and how do you look at failures as well? Because I feel that for me, I always feel the shadow for success is a failure. Okay, so it's just
Right.
not visible sometimes, but it does exist, and I think we could speak about it. A lot of learning lessons from that as well. So let's talk about this shadow aspect of success as well.
Sure.
Over to you, Soham.
Sure. Sure. I always believe that there are two sides of coin, as a and it's up to you which side you choose. Again, in failure, there are two sides. One is positive and one is negative, as perfectly pointed out by Abi. Uh, but I always look about the positive side, because my mother always supports me by seeing that, and let me see that over a period of time. So as I previously quoted that, leaving a job of a QSR, when you are coming back to home, and when your father and you, particularly me, and I'm thinking that, like, now what to do? I don't have anything, right? So it's a stage of failure. It's a stage of thing which literally gets me disheartened. But I always think that after this phase there is something new, you know and I always keep this positivity into every aspect. I always believe positivity is something which should be kept. Even if I refer to my mobile wallpaper now, I have I have made the wallpaper where a quote is written that after someday the sun will shine, right? So, like, it's again a thing which you think of yourself, and when any kind of negativity happens, or if any kind of failure, because failure can happen or negativity can come at every aspect, unknowingly or knowingly. So it's totally depends upon us how we look. So I always look it in a positive note, and always I like to keep someone around me which who helps me to look it or to keep it or to reflect it in a positive manner.
Very well pointed. So when you mentioned that you also have to create that circle of positivity around you, because you as a leader, if you are not able to create that ripples, it does affect your team as well, right? Especially in a
Right,
situation where you are leading, that purpose, right?
right,
And as you correctly said, I think every cloud has a silver lining, right? And how do you
right,
look at it? Do you want to look at the silver lining, or I might look at a cloud itself as a complete silver, right? Because it's also
right,
might be opportunity there. So very well said, Soham, where we definitely have to create that circle of positivity, and that's how the team connects and collaborates, right?
right.
So I think I also would like to know a little bit more, with respect to your MBA and a college days, especially where you're fond of forum, right? So would
Right.
you like to enlighten us what is this all forum about, and what was the idea behind creation of this forum?
Okay, okay, that's a great question, Alapini. Like my B school journey is what I think I utilized the most part of myself. And to be frank, I also still think that it is better if I can get more opportunity to utilize. Why I am saying this, because as I have already conveyed earlier, that it was a very structured process. From the very first day, I know that I cannot study whole day, and I cannot only survive through my study. I also focused with two other activities, and now I feel that activities actually add a lot of value to our life and can groom, like it helps me to groom myself for a corporate world in every aspect. Luckily, my college do provide opportunities to groom myself, as initially I was a part of a placement cell where I actually learned various facets of becoming business personnel. And like I have learned how the discipline, what is the actual meaning of discipline, time management, communication. Secondly, after leaving placement cell, I never stopped myself. I started to find some opportunities and again got associated to one startup of manpower consulting firm and started to work as a remote intern over there. Thirdly, when it was a second year and it's the last year, I always think and I always go by one thought process, that the state where I am in currently, I should left a mark, or I should leave a mark over there, so that when people look back, they should remember by my deeds, not by my name, right? So considering that fact, in the second year, I was a founder member of HR club, and my other team members, Dhanshri and Priyanka, is worth to be mentioned, because that their support are also counted. So here I applied all the learnings and I tried to add everything what requires to start a self-driven club for our students. Because in MBA college, starting a club for a from a very new perspective, from a very new background, there are challenges. There are challenges of getting it approved with the management of the college. Because it's actually portrays the culture of the college. It actually portrays the culture of the students in the college. So after getting it over to these challenges, we add on various initiatives like workshop sessions, discussion sessions, so where we connected to various HR professionals of the industry, and we invite them for our HR students, so that we can get a taste, a flavor of the industry or the corporate world we will be stepping to. Soon we add, like we always try to find out what's next. And with this thought process, we publish newsletters. We started publishing newsletter. And to be very honest, I found here in that moment what is teamwork. Like Shoham is not totally having every traits properly. I can manage contents. I cannot manage designing. So in designing, some of my other teammates is better. So collecting or collating all the traits, all the talents, if you are publishing something new, like that actually reflects. So it's a very proud moment to say, like, this is the very first newsletter that ever got published in the college, and through which our college got represented too. And like I always think here, I learned teamwork, end-to-end execution and strategy building through these phases. And I must say, The journey of B School is a mix of gaining domain knowledge as well as to the part of various activities and initiatives. And one message I want to pass, that like, apart from learning or apart from gaining knowledge, it's very important for you to invest yourself into several other activities so that you can have a full-fledged growth at every level.
Very true. I think this must have been very enriching experience, Soham, right? In your B school, creating a club, and must have impacted so many students' lives, right? I think a primary, foundation was laid. I think right in the formation of club.
Right.
I would say, right. And now, Soham, that you're leading at Thermex, what values of this organization has impacted your life? Because I think it's one of the organization which has a very strong foundation, especially led by Anu Aga, right? So, what are those
Right.
organizational values, of Thermax that's now impacting you and your professional journey at Thermax? Yeah, are we running out of time?
No, no, I have to barge in. There is a question from audience, and
Okay,
she has been asking this question, and I believe she happens to be a young student of HR, MBA student, not mentioned the specialization. So,
sure.
Soham, she is asking before you answer the question, coming back to the organization,
Right.
why HR, and how do you see? So why did you choose specialization function as an HR? And because me and Alapinee have a strong thought that the people who would have been opting for specialization, the count has been decreasing, and the majorly to the reason is because the lack of opportunities, or maybe in the terms of the role at the very initial level. When we started our
Exactly.
career, we used to get a very very kind of role which we make us learn to grow. Nowadays, most of the HR roles, either recruiter roles, outsourced roles, are very specific functional related role. It's not a holistic
Right.
domain related where you have to do everything. So why did you choose HR as a specialization, and how do you foresee HR as a function in future? So, maybe a very short answer to answer for this question, and then you can take up Alapine's question.
Sure, sure. I always, as I have said earlier, like, I always believe that it's very important to explore oneself. So, like, here I need to quote one thing. I got an opportunity to intern with a five-star hotel during the days of hotel management, and I have very closely seen the function of HR over there. And there it actually strikes, and it strikes my thought after closely looking at them and after closely judging them. And I got an opportunity to being a part of them for 1 month, although it is not actually a part of a curriculum though in hotel management. So in that 1 month, I had a feeling, that if I get to explore some other opportunities in my lifetime, I will obviously go to HR. So that's actually strikes. So what I believe, when you explore and when the traits of the functions, of the roles, of the profiles is matching with your own traits or with own interest or with your own passion, I think you should take up that, considering the fact that whether the opportunity is so much or not, because yes, opportunities you create. So in the upcoming question, I am going to say that I was interning with Thermax and I got a PPO in HR over there. So that's how I convert my opportunity from being an intern to being a permanent employee over there, right? So it's about you, how you convert the opportunity, and but the choosing of the passion, so should the sorry the choosing of the stream, the choosing of the specialization should also match your passion and your traits and personality. That's why HR actually, that's why HR for me.
Alapina, I
Yeah,
must say, is a smart fellow. He clubbed both our questions and replied in very short in one way.
absolutely, absolutely. And I think today, being the International Labour's Day, I think wishes to all the viewers for same. And I think one of the professions we as HRs, have long to contribute, right? Strategically, and also in terms of how do you, transform the thing around, right? So we as
Right,
HRs have onus right there.
right.
So
And
my
Absolutely.
I think,
question. Sorry,
Yeah, and I just to append to what Soham replied to one of the viewers. Also, with HR, what else would you like to add on? Right, it could be also your knowledge in finance, because it also would be helpful. Some, because you as a HR might have to wear hats of being a marketer at certain point of time or dealing with certain numbers. So I would also urge if you could complement your main stream, function with also other supplementary domains as well, so it
Right.
does impact. Yeah.
Right.
absolutely, I totally second Alapinee. I think this is a very important takeaway which all of us, specifically when we start in our careers, we are very stream focused, like a narrow-minded approach. I think rather than we say in hotel management, and I think HR should always be one of them. Jack of all trades, master of none. So the person who never used to choose the four specializations in hotel management, we used to say him like that. I think as an HR, it is very important that you need to
Very.
be a subject matter expert in
Yeah.
your domain, but you need to have information of all other segments as well.
Great. Yeah, it
Um,
all depends on what kind of a learner you want to be. You want to be a T-shaped learner where you actually have a very focused approach, or you want to be master all of and jack of none as well. So the the complementary statement also, Ashish, is valid, right? So I think the knowledge with respect to specific function in the organization is also helpful. Not probably when you start, but if you could start taking up those courses as complementary courses to append, at your HR career, would be helpful. Yeah. So,
Right.
so as you combine both the question, I think it's a good input from your end,
I just
as well.
wanted to add on something,
Sure.
Lapin, like when it comes about Thermax, it's very special to me because I start my career from there, right? So Thermax, like always provide high responsibility at a much younger age, and the empowerment and constant mentoring and new projects, that gives a very much importance. So being as an intern, I always get those experience. I always get those exposures, and I and it's a freedom you get over there while working over. That's the main important thing. That's the back support you get. So here to refer my manager, Miss Madhura Punekar. So she has guided me all the way through. Her energy, passion, drives. So that's again come to the same quotes, that circle. The circle should be like that, which motivates you to work, which motivates you to lead the work you are doing. So
Yeah.
all this fills into a culture of an organization, I believe, because when you are a new joinee to an organization, or when you are just joining to an organization, your senior or your superior is the only person who portray you the culture of the organization through their own practices, through their behaviors towards yourself, and their way of work. So through all the people I have met in Thermax, I have always felt that Thermax is an organization which is rich in culture and help me to grow, and I always foresee that I can grow through these opportunities that they provide.
Yeah.
we are almost at the very fag end of the session. So,
Yeah.
very importantly, another question which has come from audience is, you are being questioned today at a very early stage of what you want to be, what you have done.
Right.
Can you take us through in terms of your improvement areas? Because that's the new age India we are talking, where the leader accepts the improvement areas and guides the team. So, in
Right.
terms of if you have to grow in this profession and a CHRO position, that is the top-notch position in an HR domain.
Right.
What
Right.
qualities do you think you need to imbibe in growing career span, which will lead you there?
Sure. Sure. So the first and the foremost thing which I want to highlight, is the listening skills. So we all are here to speak, but someone needs to listen actually. So that's the main part I think I should imbibe. Secondly, proper planning and execution. And in proper planning and execution, it must be seen whether it is affecting to the stakeholders or not. That's a very important part, because we always forget that my decision is affecting whom or not, and how it's affecting at the end of the day. And the third thing which I want to say, articulations and the communications. The communication is a very important part nowadays. So how you articulate one thing, how you communicate one thing, and how it is being portrayed as a form of a message to other. So it's very important, I believe, to get
Yeah,
into
very
that level.
Your
important
comment,
point.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
Soham,
your
that you
guidance,
have.
your guidance will be very important because a lot of people are hearing to you what you have to say. You know, coming an HR leader at a very early stage, and you interact with lot of senior leaders. What are the qualities which Soham mentioned from his perspective? But from an HR leader's perspective, people who are in the middle span of their career, and they have 5 6 years to move into CHRO role, what they need to do, if you can share your experience to all those people who are aspiring CHROs.
Sure. I have always
So
seen in the aspect.
so this question
Yes.
is to Alapin.
Oh, sorry, sorry,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah.
All right. I think one crucial factor that I would like to mention is, how agile are you? Okay. So one is about the embracing the randomness. Okay. So how do you adapt very quickly? Okay. As we do not have a playbook, right? So how quickly can you adapt to a situation, and how do you even embrace the randomness, because sometimes you really do not know what's the step two, right? So I think this one approach might help encompassing couple of other aspects when you grow in your career. Second is your ability to unlearn and relearn, okay, and upskill constantly, because you're as good as your performance today, right? And you also have to have a mentor and a coach in your career, so that they could guide you very well. And definitely have a certain passion that's beyond your profession. Yeah, that's my take.
Excellent. I think I think that is the difference. I asked this question to you and Alapin specifically, and to the audience. While we saw the difference in the response, and this is the journey which we want to close. This is the gap, the ideally which your target is. The mentioned, and what Alapino mentioned, that is the realistic, because most of the people come with all these things. As CHRO, you are getting the authority to change, create a ripple effect in an organization. So thank you so much, Alapin. I think you perfectly mentioned very qualities which most of us, generally do not think, and these are very intrinsic ones which really help us to grow in your career. So, we have two pillars of two where the young people can learn from Soham, and the people who are in the middle span can follow Alapin to get and reach their career spans. And that is very important, being having a mentor in your life always, because sometimes you always will have highs and lows. So, I'm very grateful to my mentors, whom I can always rely back, discuss with them, take their inputs. And it is important in HR to have that mentor, because if you don't have that mentor, you might take a wrong decision going forward in your career. Alpin, over to you. I think we have very short time left. So, if
Yeah,
you have any.
I think so far the conversation, the way it's going on, I think it's very enriching experience, and so especially a lot of things that I've learned from you and Ashish as well. Just one from my end that I would like to know from both of you is, what's your daily dose of inspiration? From where do you draw inspiration? Quick one. Yeah, so you would like to go ahead?
Uh, Sure, sure, sure. The daily dose of inspiration, the the people around us. I always believe, when you enter into a platform or when you enter into the stage of work or a platform of work, I always try to collect inspiration from them. And to a broad vision, if I can say, so I collect the inspiration from the people who actually left the mark. Maybe it's my senior, it's my guide, it's my mentor, or anyone who actually left a mark in a position or in a place I always take them as an inspiration ahead.
Very
Great.
well
For me,
said.
it is for me it is social media, because it gives a lot of opportunity to know different areas what people are doing, and whatever we can do is a very, it's a tip of the iceberg, which I can say. I think the more we leverage social media, interact with people, and I always believe network is your net worth, and that is the
Very true.
something, coming from a very lower middle class family in Calcutta.
Yeah.
My mother always used to say, like banks of river will never meet, but people to people connection will always be there. And that's how
Very true.
leveraging that, it's very important. And that's how I get. Maybe work is very important, which we have to earn our bread butter. But apart from that, it's important that what how we are channelizing an energy in our extra additional time. I have a question for both of you. I rapid fire for Alapino
I'll
and
just add on a quick one, Ashish, before
yeah.
you start, because I so echo with your thoughts. I think because inspiration is all around, right? For me, because I really draw inspiration of ordinary people doing really extraordinary work, and they're right around us. I think we just have to spot and because even my mother, tells that I'll use a Marathi quote here. Nokri hi bhakri purti kara. Okay, so you earn your living only, as you said, for a specific purpose. Rest the life is about service. How do you serve at large? Okay, over to you for your round,
Yeah,
Ashish.
fortunately, unfortunately, we happened that we are part of Maharashtra, either for our native or for bread
Right.
butter, and that's how the destiny brings our different part of area we come from. A quick question, before I we have a closure. So, I'm an Alpino. When you interview people, interview is a very important aspect of HR. So when you interview people, both Soham and Alapino, what quality do you look forward to in people? What is the top three qualities which you look forward before you make a decision or a selection? Soham, over to you. You go first, and then Alapino.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you. Like this question, I can answer because it's a very recent experience of mine. So the first is the initiatives which I look on, right? And the second thing is that how he drives those initiatives. So like suppose if anyone has mentioned in his or her CV that she has done this, so what's next? What's value addition she has taken out of or he has taken out of that? So these two things, and the last and I think that's the most important thing is that so it is not written in the CV, but it's how again that the person articulate about themselves, how the person is selling himself or herself, or branding himself or herself, considering all the aspects, all the qualities. So it's a very important thing to note actually. So these three things I think is very important for me to assess.
So,
Alapino, over to
um,
you.
yeah, Ashish, I think what I would look, for a specific talent is from culture fit to culture add. You generally fit person into whether he tick classify my specific criteria. I think what I generally I look into this transition of culture fit to culture add. Second is a good combination of a right and a left brain. Creativity plus logical thinking as well, because I think this needs to be balanced, right? And third is the alignment of that person with the organization's goal, right? So his aspiration level and what even the organization have to provide has to in line, right? And that's when both prosper respectively. And the last is definitely how that person would deal with any I would not say failure, but if something has to be redirected, how would you redirect certain things? So these are the three things that I would look for.
I think that's a very important question, because this also decides, kind of team which we build, not for us, our team, but for the organization as well. And again, audience, you could have noticed the difference in the responses. But this comes that what do you want. It is not important that what kind of people, what is the need of the organization also decides sometimes the kind of people you want to select. Last question from my end to both of you, and then we can hand over to Alapino for the closure. Uh, Specifically, when we look in terms of this journey, uh, so one is your professional journey, second is your being an entrepreneur. So, got any plans for becoming an entrepreneur in near future?
Yeah, sure. I have already mentioned that it's
Mentioned.
my dream. It's my extended dream to open a restaurant where you will get the you will get the cuisines of that you haven't tried in India, and tried and apply mixologies and various other stuffs that I am researching, and I have researched past, and I also try to provide a wholehearted experience to the guest or to the clients, to that that's what my future goal, if it's possible, and that's I can say that it can mark as being an entrepreneur.
Thanks, Om. I
Look
think,
forward to that.
yeah, we both of us
So
will be your
we
first
will.
guests.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, because so honestly, this in our discussion, how it has gone, I before I hand it over to Alapin and maybe give my comments. It's very important, it's very easy for people to comment, and we have appeared, we listen to so many stalwarts, so many big names in the industry, we all know each other. Your session never thought, we never, if we hide you, your face, and we hear with closed eyes, we will not be able to differentiate whom we are hearing. So I think the biggest takeaway for me is your maturity. At a very early stage, how you have matured and your thoughts are aligned. And, while you grow more in your career and you will be one of the icon, as I said, but I think this is biggest takeaway that this maturity, if I had it at my early stage, I would have grown more further. And this is the new age generation which you are bringing. Apart from your sincerity and dedication and passion, I think your maturity holds the key for your success. Alapin, over to you for doing your thoughts, closure, and takeaways also.
Thanks, Ashish. Thanks, Ashish.
Sure. I think, as I said, I'll just reiterate a very rewarding, entire dialogue that we all had today. Very enriching experience for me, and I'm sure for the viewers who have logged in. A couple of takeaways, especially one where we definitely have to co-create and co-connect to grow as a person and then as a society, right? So I think that's a very powerful conversation that we all had, and truly believe in that. And Soham, you're truly I think aspire to inspire so many people today. And finally, just would like to again thank Ashish and the entire Sampark team for this. And my final, I think, closing comments would be, I think, for this COVID, I think we could co-win with collaboration. Okay, so
Right.
co-win to co-win with collaboration. Yeah. So stay sane and stay kind. Yeah, we are distanced by human, but not with acts of humanity. So do as much as you can towards society. Thank you.
Great. I think that Alapino, this is not the thank you our audience. Demand is
We do
something
have
there, so let
something.
me put it. Yeah,
Oh,
something.
we have
And
already
I think this
crossed
is
1 hour.
yeah. So this is something which we I like this idea. Let us give a takeaway and a message, maybe what how we have felt, but we use our native languages for that, so Soham, you can use Bengali, and Alapino, please use Marathi. I think that's how, let us take that, because we use universal language, we use communicable language, Hindi, but
Mhm.
very important is what are roots. We are part of India, we never, we are so proud to be,
Hmm.
but it is also important the regional sentiments which we bring, and that connect the masses. So you will go first. Use Bengali to share your thoughts, to give some tips to the young people who are in your league or maybe aspiring students. And then Arapina, you can use Marathi. I think we will be able to give it wider span of people to understand. Over to you. So,
Okay. Thanks, Ashish. So, so my take on this is, like, एगिए cholo, jeete cholo. So what does that mean? Go ahead and win it.
Okay.
Great. And what message you want to give to, say in Bengali, don't have to use English. People who, you are an emerging leader. If people want to understand what you have told, they will do a translation in Google. So that's how we, so we don't go back and, so if we have to hear the songs of Henrik or, something, we will go back and do the translation. So your message to the young students purely in Bengali.
Yes, that is then एगिए cholo, jeete cholo.
Great. Thank you so much. I
Well
think
said.
it's very important. এগিয়ে চলো আর জিতে চলো। তোমরা সবাইয়ের সম্মান আর নিজের অপমান না সহ্য করে নিজের মা বাবার সম্মানটা এগিয়ে চলো। Very important for
एकदम
parents too.
एकदम
Alapinee, over to you.
सगळ्यात पहिले महाराष्ट्र दिनाच्या शुभेच्छा सगळ्यांना.
In Marathi, we all ears.
हो, कारण की आपण महाराष्ट्रात आहोत म्हणून. आणि दुसरं मराठीत सांगायचं म्हणजे आपण जे काही कार्य कराल समाजाला त्याचं आपल्याकडून देणं आहे आणि ते आपण सगळ्यांनी पूर्ण करायला पाहिजे.
Great. Thank you so much.
करायला पाहिजे.
Great. मला मराठी माहित आहे, so मी समजेल. Great. I thank Soham and Alapinee for taking this, great time out and initiative. It's not easy
Thank you.
to come out from your comfort zone and, to spend time. This discussion will be cherished for a very long time. Never felt we are doing a YouTube live. It felt that we are sitting in a coffee table in a Starbucks or CCD and, and having a chit chat discussion of three HR people at various time zones in our career. And the world is very small. The HR world is even smaller. We never know when we cross paths in professional careers. But Soham, me and Alapinee both give back you this assurance you have. You can count both of us for any support, guidance, mentoring required in your career, and always go back and help people. Whenever you can. I think
Absolutely.
that is very important. Not only in terms of any needed help or in terms of society contribution, but also in terms of career counseling. Most of
Sure.
us require that, and if we can give that helping hand to somebody, it might change a difference. I wish all the participants a safe time. This is a very critical time, so be safe and stay at home and enjoy your weekend. And thank you so much, Alapinee. Great.
Thank you.
Thanks from the bottom of my heart for doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
All the
Thank you.
viewers,
Thank
stay
you,
safe
Ashish.
and
Thank
stay
you, Alapinee.
kind. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, HR Sampark and team. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. Signing off.